So far we've looked at how we sketch, as designers, squares and rectangles and circles and ellipses that fit exactly inside those squares and rectangles. We've also learned in 3D how to do 1-point, 2-point perspective and isometric drawing. And then just laterally there, we showed how, if you can understand how circles fit inside squares, and therefore how to turn squares into boxes, that we could draw 3D cylinders using isometric 1-point and 2-point perspective. I want to continue that, and I want to introduce you to some simple round shapes. And we'll call this lesson 1 because there will be a lesson 2 after this as well. So by a simple round shape, what I mean is a shape which only curves in one direction. Cylinders and cones and things like that, where the curvature is only happening in one direction, is what I would class as a simple round shape. The opposite of that would be a complex round shape, and that would be something like a car body or an aircraft fuselage, or perhaps a bowl shape where we've got curvatures going in all sorts of directions. Those are complex. We'll do them later. So the simple round shapes that I want to show you how to sketch just now is a cylinder, a cone, and also let's talk about half shapes as well. You can copy along with a pencil. I'm using a Bic biro because the camera can pick it up easier. So let's talk about the cylinder. We already know that a circle fits exactly inside a well-proportioned square. Covered that in a previous lesson. And we also touched on the construction of cylinders. It's worth going over that again. So long as we know that a circle fits inside a square, that means that if we came to draw a cylinder in isometric, and let's draw that here, let's put in our box. Now this is the start of us learning how to do the box method of construction, where everything we see can fit inside a box. So things start to get a little bit trickier here because our lines start to overlap and so forth. So from time to time, I'm going to swap to another colour here. So our construction lines, a cylinder, as you know, has a circle on the top, a circle on the bottom, and straight lines in between. So let's draw that cylinder right now. So let's construct on the top surface the construction lines. We need to draw a circle, and we also need those on the bottom surface as well, the surface that we can't see that's sitting on the ground. This is an isometric projection, so our lines don't converge or diverge, they remain parallel all the time. So on the top surface we need to sketch in our cylinder, which again we know it touches the 4 points on the outside of the square, and then in between times crosses 2/3 of the way along the diagonal. Just like that. To turn that into a cylinder, we would then drop some verticals down the very edges of the cylinder right there. Now I want you to notice that when you're drawing a cylinder, that these lines come down. There's no sharp corners at all. If your vertical line meets the top surface and there's a little sharp corner there, then that suggests you've not constructed it properly. We darken the lines that we could touch if we could reach into the paper. That's how we construct a cylinder in isometric. But quite often you might be asked to draw cones as well. Now that's a similar sort of process. Let's show you what it's like in isometric again. Okay. So let's put in a vertical. Let's just send our lines back at 30 degrees. And just like the cylinder, we can fit the cone inside a cube. Let's draw our cube out, and again I'm going to need to draw the faces that we can't see as well, and hopefully darken this so that you can tell which is front and which is back. So our cone is going to have a circle at the base, and it's going to come to a point at the top, just like that. That's where our cone is going to be. So we need to start by drawing a circle in the base. So let's put our construction lines in that we need for drawing a decent circle. Just like this. Let's draw that circle in the points that it touches. And complete that there, just removing the noisy dog food from the dog there. Right, so we've got a circle in the bottom, that's that bit in there. And it also comes up to a point. Now that point, it just so happens, lies in the very centre of that square right there. So again, let's bring our lines down. There are no sharp corners on a cone, so those lines come down and they blend in to the base shape. Right, I'll be honest with you, I find drawing that a lot easier if I flip it upside down. So this is what I mean by simple round shapes. Shapes where the curvature is only happening in one direction. The curvature is only happening in one direction, right there. And we can see that we can construct out of squares and circles and cubes and boxes. Let's talk about half shapes now, because quite often we get shapes which are half round. An example would be something like this. So let's start off by constructing an isometric box. And this is a shape that makes use of a semicircle. So let's put in the construction lines for making a circle. We're also going to have to do this on the bottom as well, because this is going to be a prism that we're making. A diagonal there, a diagonal there. There's a little crisscross construction target there. So let's do a semicircle cylinder. Okay, so the back end of this is going to be absolutely square like that. But I want the front of it to curve. In other words, we're going to be drawing a semicircle. So where's the points that a circle touches? It's here, here, and here. So let's try and draw an elegant arc through there, and the same on the bottom, because it's a prism. It's got the same shape on the bottom as it has on the top. There's that arc. There's that arc a little lighter this time. Okay. Let's join those two edges up. Just like that. So in that case, we've drawn a half round shape. Okay, and what's also handy sometimes is if we leave these little construction lines in. So this was a cylinder constructed from a full circle, prisming down to another circle, but in this case, we've only drawn a semicircle. There's a semicircle in here, and that's prisming down to another semicircle on the base as well. And this is again how we can turn squares and circles and curves into complex, or rather simple, round shapes. What about if we wanted to cut that cone in half? Could we do that? Could we take a slice through that bit right there and cut it in half? Yeah, we could. Again, we have got to construct it in 3D though. Let's build a little cube again. Am I going to run out of space? No, I'm going to be fine. Okay, so there's a little bounding cube. Our little create method starts off with that. I'm kind of going off isometric a little bit here. I've got two lines not meeting, but that doesn't matter, because on the bottom we'll put in the lines we need to construct our circle. Now a cone is a bit like this. It has a semicircle on it, so let's put that semicircle in. So our semicircle would go right across there, and then I would be drawing an elegant shape like that. And we know that it still meets up at the point here. That point still exists, but this time it comes down to there, and it comes down to there. But this back edge is still in place. This back edge is should still be a graceful shape that comes in right there. So we used full shapes to make prisms here and pyramids here, and we're using half shapes to make half rounds as well. Let's just highlight this cut face. Now we can put all that together and we'll go on to simple round shapes number 2, and we'll attempt a slightly more complex shape.